I am Joy Ruffin, your host and the creator of Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies. Tonight and every Wednesday night, I'm going to bring to you a lady that I will interview who you will find has gone through a transformation, both internally and externally, that has sparked her own signature style and stamp. And every week, I'll offer you a tool, a joyous a nugget, a tip that will help you to discover your signature style that you stamped to you. I want you to regain your ease, confidence, and a strong presence. We're working with, remember, women who are in their second act, regardless to age. So we want a powerful presence because many of you will be working online more, maybe going out for a job interview, and that will be fierce, the competition. So you will need to be camera ready and prepared for a great job interview. And I'm going to help you with that. For tonight, tonight we have a lovely lady with us. Her name is Liza Lomax, and she is going to share with us something that, in my opinion, and I hope yours, extremely important. The best solution for loving you and your body. So I'm going to ask you to help me to welcome Liza Lomax. I love that name. How are you,
Hi.
baby? How are you?
I'm I am doing wonderful. Fabulous. Thank you for
Wonderful.
having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure to have you here. Well, you and I had a little conversation before you arrived here, and you know how much I love your name. We're going to talk about that because I was mispronouncing it, and you said, "Oh no, it's Liza." So I get that, and it's one of the people that I love and adore, and I'm sure many people in the audience will as well. Tell me, Liza, how did you start doing the work that you're doing now?
Oh, let's see. Do we have a few hours? No, I'm just kidding. Um No, I do have a longer story and, but like I said, I'll keep it short. When I was a teenager, I suffered from two EDs. So I had two eating disorders. I
Uh-huh.
had anorexia and I had overeating. So I binged ate. I went from a size 2 to a size 22. And yes, by the time I was 26, I weighed 300 pounds.
No.
Yes. The doctor told me that if I didn't lose weight, I was going to die. And I had high cholesterol, borderline diabetic. I was depressed. I had so much anxiety. I just literally did not love myself, hated myself, detested myself. The doctor told me I was going to die. I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something. So what do? I didn't get very much direction. And I was just told to lose the weight. So I went on Weight Watchers the first time. I have been on
Yes,
Weight
haven't
Watchers a
we
couple
all?
times. Yes, I've been on Weight Watchers a couple times, but the I went on Weight Watchers and I lost 105 pounds in 13 months. So I
Ah,
lost a whole person, you guys, in
yeah.
13 months. That's a lot. However, I didn't change my mindset and I continue to yo-yo and yo-yo over and over and over. And I had a lot of pivotal things that happened to me. I had a lot of self-loathing. I did not love myself. I hated myself. I did stuff to myself nobody should ever do to their bodies. I didn't change those limiting beliefs and those behaviors and those patterns that I had created that we essentially create when we're children. I brought them in my adulthood and they continued over and over and over and yo-yoed. And it wasn't, I literally had to hit rock bottom before I could change. I wanted to change for everybody else except for myself. I was a people pleaser. I was a doormat. I just wanted to help everybody else and not myself.
You know, Liza, I think everyone who's here now and those who will come later, we're hearing a little bit of ourselves in your story because, especially for us women that love and hate with the body because of all of these traditional crazy patterns that most of us attempt to follow, you
Hmm.
know, the actresses and the runway models and all of that. And our upbringing has a big influence on that.
Yes.
When was, I get what you said about the limiting beliefs. When did you get the transformation? When did it pivot for you that you had to change? You had to change something.
So I I hit rock bottom. I was addicted to diet pills. I've tried every single diet ever imaginable. I'd go through those magazines, you'd see those magazines, and they'd say, "Oh, buy this because it'll make you lose this weight."
Yes.
And I tried everything. I've tried them all, been there, done that. I was addicted to diet pills. I had an alcohol problem. I was severely depressed, had a lot of anxiety. I didn't want to die. I'd rather kill myself. I did things to my body. Just, I would binge, I would eat and eat, 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 and then I would take laxatives because I had to get it out. And I would just eat and eat, 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 and I would take laxatives to just try to get it out. So, I mean, there were so many things that I was like, something has to give. Something is, if I'm doing all these things for other people, should I be doing them for myself? Is that how I'm supposed to change? Is this how I'm supposed to, is this what it's supposed to be like? I'm supposed to change myself. I don't want to change myself because I'm a people pleaser. I want to be, take care of everybody else because that's what
Yes,
we do as women is we take care of everybody else.
we do,
We take
Liza.
care of
We do.
ourselves.
And let me ask you this because I'm hearing something. Were you working with women at that time doing what you do now? And not,
No,
no. Okay, that's what I heard.
no, I was
When was
not.
the pivotal moment for you? What happened? What caused that? That you said it's time to change?
Um, it was, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to believe in God, higher source, divine power, whatever you believe in.
Yes, everybody has something to.
Everybody has something. There was a light bulb that just went off. I mean, it's really hard to explain it unless you've been there and done that.
Yes,
It's
yes,
literally a light bulb went off. And, you know, I knew I had to change for myself. I knew that I had to take care of me because in order to take care of me, that would take care of everybody else around me. That would help. That would help. So I went out and I studied every self-help book, every guru out there. I mean, you name it. I read the books. I did all the work on myself, myself by myself. I got myself out of this deep, dark, intense hole all by myself with the power of God, higher source, divine power. I needed a change. And so I went and I studied all of them. I went and got certifications in so many different things because I'm like, there's got to be other women out there. I have to have something in my toolbox for every single woman that I can help. And I knew that there were other women out there that struggled, that suffered exactly like me, and I needed to help them.
Liza, I really can hear what you're saying loud and clear because I think all of us, no matter what strata, what age, what category, what ethnic, what education, all of that, we all go through the same cycle at different times of
Yes.
building the best relationship with ourselves. For me, it was the traumatic, like a word that's not used anymore, dysfunctional childhood.
Yes.
You get so angry, you have to get that out of your system or you don't survive. So somehow something pivoted for you and you decided to do everything you could to get yourself into wholeness.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
How were you as far as your sense of who you were and your dress and your style, your manner, your technique? How did that play out before you transitioned into the external you that you now? How were you styling and dressing? How were you being you?
I hid in clothes. I wore clothes that were probably 3 sizes too big for me. I would cover up and cover up and cover up. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin at the time. I didn't like what I looked like. I'd wear baggy clothes. And after I lost a lot of the weight, I actually set myself up for failure again. Really, we don't realize that we do these things. I kept my fat clothes in my closet because, hey, maybe might need them again someday. And sure enough, I did need them again. So we don't realize that if we put those clothes up in our closet, we're already setting ourselves up for failure, whether it's our skinny jeans or our fat jeans. Both work the same way. We're still setting ourselves up for failure because we're like, okay, we're going to get in our skinny jeans one day. It's not going to happen. If you can't wear them now, then it's never going to happen.
You're speaking to the choir because I'm sure, I'm sure. Hi, Roz. Good to see you. I'm sure, like you, like me, and so many out here who are listening now and who will come later, there's no question that we all, until, by the way, I wanted to ask you this before, but I'll ask you now because what
Hmm.
you're speaking to, I just read a great book that I was not familiar with that was introduced to me by a dear friend. It's called The Big Leap. Have you read that? Because
I've I've heard of
it,
that. I've
it's
heard
The
of
Big
it.
Leap. It's by Gay, I think, Hendricks. And one of my dear friends mentioned that book to me, and I'm absolutely enthralled with that book because you're talking verbiage that is used a lot in this book, limiting beliefs,
Hmm.
because we all have them, no matter what our skills and our talents and our gifts are, until we perfect them and get into our zone of genius. So when did
Yes.
you realize I'm coming back again and again, Liza, because I know that this is important for those who are tuning in. You had to have some moment because I've done exactly what you said. When I lost the weight from the yo-yoing, I left the clothes in the back of the closet. And then when I gained it slowly back again, because my mindset wasn't right, right?
Hmm.
What do you
Yes.
think triggered for you, and what do you think has to trigger for us who are into this yo-yo? What is that limiting belief that we have to release and surrender to? Believe me.
Number one, we're not good enough. We learn
Mhm.
from a very early age in life. It happens as young as 2 years old. If we create that not good enough story, and then it comes with us to our adulthood, we create that not good enough story. We're not good enough. We're not special enough. We're not this. We're not that. When we're told right away, when we're children, you can't do that. You have to do this. You got to be like this. Be like your sister. Oh, I'll give you something to cry about, or that we've told all these things that we need to be a certain way and dress a certain way and act a certain way and say a certain way and say this right things. And when we don't do those things, then we start that not good enough story. And so we try to fix it, and we try to fix and fix and fix. And we go all the way into our adulthood trying to fix everything when we need to fix ourselves.
So true. I mean, spot on, because that relationship that we build with ourselves, and you know what? Our parents do the best that they can.
Of course they do. Yes.
They do the best that they can. And then when we become adults, as we begin to build that relationship with ourselves, it's our responsibility to
Right.
get into our best self.
Right.
So what you said is spot on for so many of us. We have a lovely lady here, a friend of mine, Ross, who says we have this disease to please.
Exactly. Yes.
It's so
Yes, Roz.
it's so
Exactly.
true. It is so true. And that seems to be indigenous to women. Men don't go there. I don't know.
No.
It makes a big, big, big difference. Since you've made this transition into building this healthy relationship with you, because I'll say to the audience, and you know that I only speak my truth, which is truth. Liza radiates wholeness. Skin, I mean, she glows. So no, it's true. It's
Thank you.
true. When did you absolutely become not settle in, but when did you decide this is where I'm going to go, this is how I'm going, and how did that change for you and how you project and present yourself out into the stratosphere with people?
Um, there was a moment where, because I suffered from body dysmorphia disorder as well,
Okay.
so there was a moment that, because of my whole life I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw a monster. I didn't see what you guys are all seeing, a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
Um, I saw something completely different, and there was a moment where I saw my reflection in the mirror, and I was shocked. I was like, "Well, who is that person? Who is that woman?" And somebody pointed out to me, "You're like, that's you." And I'm like, "That's not me. That's not me." And I was like, "That's me." And I took a step back and I looked at myself and I was like, "Dang, I'm hot. I look good." I was like, "I look really good." And from that moment on, it was I love to look at myself in the mirror. I mean, it's not a what's the word? A vain thing. I've come a long way in my entire life to get to this space, and I'm darn well gonna say I love myself and love my body, and I'm going to be very proud of where I've come from. So I'm going to always look at myself in the mirror and say, what a beautiful woman you are.
I love the way you phrase that. For this reason, I'm chuckling. You heard me there because when you were talking, that was Joy talking, and she steps into your shoes. Because the same thing happened to me. Unfortunately, when I lost my sister, I gained a lot of weight. And I walked
Mhm.
by the mirror one day and I said, "Who is that?" It was me. I was 60 pounds heavier than I was
Mm,
before. But sometimes, Liza, we all get delusional.
yeah.
We choose, for whatever the reasons are, not to probe and to go deep enough to discover the essence at the core of who we are. And that's what you've done. So now, how has your style changed? How do you dress now? How do you show up presenting yourself?
Well, I mean, I obviously when I go into networking events and business things, I dress, kind of business casual.
Yes.
This is a little bit different for me because I love exercise wear. I exercise a lot. So when I'm like out and about, I look like I just stepped out of a gym, honestly. So because that's what I feel most comfortable in. And, I'm able to show off my body and I'm able to show off my muscles that I worked really hard for.
Again.
So for me, that's kind of my style is very athletic wear and the tank tops and not the yoga pants, but the tank tops and the pants and tennis shoes and running shoes. And because I like to show off my body and I'm proud of it and I'm proud of where I've come. So
All
that's
right.
kind of my style. But of course, when I'm in business things and like right now, I'm wearing a little bit more,
Yes.
business casual, yes. So I felt I had want to dress up for you guys. So
I love the way you express that because we have gone over into the casual mode, but the way that you explained it, I would put you in the sporty casual mode. But yet, Liza, you qualified how you dress, which is so important for one like me who's all about signature style. Meaning, when you have to go to a professional event and you want to be business, you dress business. And
right.
you know your style and how to showcase and exhibit you where your credibility and what you're doing shows up and
Exactly.
is seen. And that's what it's all about. Because casual is comfortable, and yet what most of us forget is casual can be comfortable and business-like as well. Makes
Yes.
a big difference. It makes a big, big difference.
Yes.
When did you decide that it was time for you to be true to who you are and to show up and showcase your body because you are proud of it? Did that come after you had developed and got your body to the shape that it is now, or while you were in the process of that, did that come about?
That actually came way later. It did. It came way later after, after did all of the work on myself, and it took a little longer than it should have, but it gave me the knowledge and the know-how to now help women do the same thing and go through the same processes.
Well,
So, yep,
yeah,
go
tell
ahead.
us how that transformation for you, how you use that in your coaching with women today to give them the vision and the insight to get to their inner core to showcase who they really are.
Well, I always start out with we have a phone call and we have a conversation, and it's very authentic and very organic. And I just ask a few questions, and we just get down to, what really is the pain points for people, and
Yes,
what the really underlying issue, what the really underlying issue is, because a lot of people come to me and they say, I want to lose weight. It's like, okay, well, we'll lose weight, but what's the underlying issue here? So it's never about losing weight. Never, ever, ever. There's always something else that yes, that is underlying, and it's always that not good enough story.
it's so profound what you just said.
Yes.
I think in conjunction with not good enough goes, I'm not sure if I can do this,
Yes.
which synchronizes and coexists with that. But that fear of maybe not, so I'll stay this way, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Comfort is something that's deadly for most of us. When you read
Yes.
this book, and I hope you will, I think you'll enjoy it, Liza, The Big Leap. We all have, they say, the four zones: the zone of incompetence, the zone of
Mm-hmm.
competence, the zone of excellence, which is where I got caught. And then we get to our zone of genius. And the book is absolutely mind boggling. It will blow you away. But what you just said, when that happens, how do you get them to transition from that outlook to where they need to go?
I ask a lot of vulnerable questions,
Yes.
and it's hard. I ask them hard questions and questions that they probably have never asked themselves before, and to get down to really the nitty gritty of what's really the underlying thing that they need to work on, and like I said, it's that not good enough story that always comes up, and it's just having a basic conversation with them, and asking the right questions. It really is. It's all down to the questions. And I I'm an emotional. I base a lot of things on emotions, because we know we base every single second, every single day of our lives, every single choice on emotions.
Hmm.
We are emotional beings.
We are.
So
And
getting down to that emotional state is where they need to get to in order to realize that they need to change.
yeah, no question about it. Do you find that some, well, of course you do, but why are some much easier to open that door to go through and others are more difficult? It's that fear, but is there an underlying reason that you see that maybe causes that?
They're just not ready to change. They're not ready to give up that. And it is a lot of fear. It is fear. But they're just not ready to change. And,
And
some people just aren't ready. And
yeah,
that's okay. Eventually, hopefully, someday they will be ready.
I'm sure you've had them come to you, and maybe not many, in fact, hopefully minuscule. They leave, and then I bet some of them come back to you because they know that it is time to change.
Yes.
And that change,
Yes.
well, in a way, Liza, we're in that period right now. Here's what I think. Tell me your thoughts. We are in a pivotal change, but that pivotal change has to come from within us.
Yes.
That we have to probe and go deep, deep, deep inside of us so that when we come back up and out, we are changed for the better so that we can connect with others. That is my belief. Because I don't think there are any true accidents in life.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that sounds, some people say, oh, how could you say something like that? But that's what I believe. And when it comes to body image and loathing and loving, you're absolutely right that fear and change is difficult for most of all of us. And that change is constant. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it is forever with us.
It
Do you
is.
have, do you have any, let's say, share a couple, one or two of the biggest lessons for you that you've learned that you could share and give to the audience that they walk away with? One or two, maybe three, anything that is a pivotal point or something that's succinct that they can walk away with that will be meaningful and impactful to them, whatever that might be.
Yeah, sure. So, and I tell people this a lot. It's the words that we say to ourselves on a daily basis go in here.
Mhm.
And we constantly say things about ourselves, whether it's negative or positive, all day long. And when we say those things to ourselves, we are reflecting that out into the world. And it gives everybody else the right to say those things right back to us. Because
Mhm.
what we're projecting out into the world is going to project right back to us.
Mhm.
So, being very mindful about the words that you say from the moment you wake up in the morning. You look at yourself in the mirror, you go get your coffee, you go get your cereal, you go out to do your errands, whatever you're doing. Every single second of every day, be very, very mindful of those thoughts and what you're saying to yourself. Be your own best friend. You are your own best friend.
Yeah.
Nobody else, it's just you. It's just you. So when you say all these things, pretend like you're saying them to your best friend. Would you say those things to your best friend? No, you would never say those things. So what gives you the right to tell you those things yourself?
Yeah.
So being very, very mindful of every single day, every second of what you say to yourself is really pivotal. and it'll change if you just make those small little tweaks. It'll you'll notice a world of difference.
Do you have a mantra that you get up with every day that you say before your day gets going? Is there something that's personal that's yours that you're willing to share that you, if not in the morning, every day you say it at some point in time?
Yes, I do. So I do two meditations at night, and I have them on a loop, and I do a meditation in the morning, and then I wake up and I write some sentences, so some affirmations,
Yeah.
and then I do my mantras and I do my mirror work, and so I still do that, and so I teach my clients coaching in my coaching I teach them how to do the same thing. So mantras, can be anything. For me, and what they should be is they should always start with I am. So I am are the two most powerful words in the English language, because anything you put on the other side of am has a huge impact, whether it's negative or positive.
Hmm.
So when you say I am beautiful, how does that make you feel? It makes you
Mm,
feel beautiful. If you
love
say I am disgusting, how does it make you feel? It makes you feel icky. So using the I am is pivotal. So saying I am beautiful, I am brilliant, I am smart, I am a genius. I say those things to myself all day long. I am perfectly healthy. Right now in this during this time, that's a huge thing right now. I say I am perfectly healthy at all times. I am perfectly healthy at all times. And I repeat it over and over and over again.
I love this. You could not have ended with a better way of leaving us with a nugget. Now, tell us a wee bit about the gift that you're offering to the audience here now and those who will come to the replay. Just tell us a little bit about it. It's all been taken care of and they will get to you. But just share with so they'll know.
Okay. So yeah, if anything that I've said today, has hit you, has kind of hit a chord, or if you've resonated with anything that I've said, excuse me, I do a free session. It's a free Love Your Body roadmap session where we create that roadmap for you. We go into those fine details of what's holding you back, what's going to propel you forward, and we go really deep in. And I ask you some very vulnerable questions, and that's it. It's might be a tough conversation, but it's something that you need to have. And if you're ready to change, then you know we do that. And then after that, I always make sure that it's a match. I always make sure that, because we can't work with every single person.
No.
I mean, it's like there's
Yeah.
enough for everybody to go around. But I mean, I always make sure that it's a match for you and it's a match for me. And then we talk about, working together and what working together looks like. And then I go more into detail of my program, what it entails, it details, and that kind of thing. So, but it always first starts with that first initial session. It's completely free. It's almost like it's a coaching session. It really is.
Wonderful.
And just really helping you
Great.
discover those things that you need to change about yourself.
Liza, I love that. And my friend here, she's giving us a great ending. She says, I'm not perfect, but I am priceless.
Yes, you are.
I love that. Thank you, Roz. Liza, time flies here.
I
Let me just say
know.
thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to ask you to go into the green room. I'm going to say so long, and then I'll be with you in just a second.
All
Would you
right.
say goodbye to the audience for now? We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Bye bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, what can I say? There's no question that one thing that's concurrent here is that every leading lady who comes here comes to give you nuggets that you can benefit by. And I want to leave you with one, what I call, we're talking nugget, tip, a tool, and I call it a joyism. And the one that I want to share with you is this. If you don't feel great in the outfit you're wearing, then it's not the image, the style, the look for you. So what you have to do is know and learn which style, which fit, which image shows off your signature style best. And my invitation to you, each of you out there, you're in your second act, regardless of age, a leader in this change and looking for to discover and create your own signature style, a style that fits your personality and your successful lifestyle. Maybe you are entering or entertaining going for a new job interview or working more online. The competition is fierce. So you want to be camera ready and you want to be ready for that job interview. And I can help you with that. What I'm going to do is put a link across here where you can go to my Facebook business page and you can get the booklet, a brochure that's designed for you and you only. It's complimentary. And there you can also book a complimentary call for me, whatever it is that you struggle with. And I can help you with that. And I have some other packages that I'm putting together for you. But do connect with me. If you struggle with something, if you're challenged with something, if you're stuck with something and you're kind of lost, this is a very trying time for all of us. I'm going to ask you to connect and make sure that we do that together. And ladies, let me just say this. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And I want you to remember to stand up and shout out, I am here and I am ready. It's our time. So let's rise and unite together. Leading ladies, leaving legacies. I am Joy Ruffin, your creator and founder, and I look forward to seeing you every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the week and the best weekend ever. See you soon. Until then, so long for now. Cheers.